Hello everyone, I'm Claire Marie B and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be taking you through my November bullet journal setup, and the theme for this month is very autumnal as I've gone with leaves. I was in London about a week and a half ago now, and I was just really inspired by all the leaves that were on the floor that I'd seen dropping. They had the most tremendous colours and pattern, and so that's how this theme all started in my head. First of all, I'm sketching out the leaf pattern that I want to do. I did something a little bit different this month in that I used a really pale grey pen to actually sketch over the pencil, and then it just worked better for me. And when I was using the darker ink colours, that was okay to do that. I think if I was using paler colours, it would have still shown as a bit of an outline line, but it was much better and easier and just resulted in me having a much cleaner page to be working from when I then started recording. I'm using craft paper this month as well. It just really goes with that autumnal theme, and those of you who've watched my videos before, you'll know I really love using that. Other than the craft paper, everything else that I'm using in today's setup is pretty standard for me, in that I'm using coloured pens, black ink pens, and then I'm using some washi tapes as well. There isn't anything else this month that's difficult or needed in terms of equipment to put this together. I decided to do something a little bit different this month when I was doing the decoration. I really wanted to try and reflect all the different colours that I saw in the leaves in this spread as well. It's a tricky thing to do, and I know that if I was good with watercolours, I've done it a little bit before, but I'm not amazing, and it's something I really want to get better at. If I was doing this on watercolour paper and I was experienced with watercolours, I know I could have made that work and look really, really good. But I'm not, and also I want to do these things in my journal, so I think if I was using watercolours in the way that I would have wanted to do to create this effect, I would have had to wet the paper considerably, and that wouldn't work in this journal. You can get away with some paints, maybe not so much with certain watercolour at times, but obviously watercolour is what it is in that you want to use a lot of water. The more water and wetness that you put into the journal, the more it buckles the pages. Even if you have a 160 GSM paper, as I do, it still can cause a bit of an issue and not be able to use the page underneath. And I didn't want to start getting into painting on watercolour paper and sticking it in here. And so this month I decided to try and create what I wanted to create using the usual tools that I do. Overall, I'm generally happy with it. I think I just need a little more practice, and I need to work on how to do this more with the colours. I could probably have used a little plastic tray or something to maybe mix some of these colours first, since they're water-based as well. That might have worked a little bit better, but I'm sure it's given me lots of things to focus on for the future and perfect. For the lettering this month, I've gone with slanted writing. It's really funny because that is my natural writing style, but I think as I've been practicing my lettering so much, it isn't my best, or it's not the sort of lettering that I'm the most confident with when I'm doing it. So that's my cover page complete. On to my quote page. And this month, rather than doing a quote by a famous leader or a celebrity, it's just something I saw and I thought it was very apt, since it was the falling leaves that gave me the inspiration for this. So that's what I've gone with this month. A little bit of washi tape, and that's complete. On to my next setup, which is the calendar setup. This month I really wanted to go with my coloured boxes again. I really do love this setup and it works for me. But unfortunately it starts to go down the route sometimes of me getting a little bit bored. I know all of those that journal regularly will understand that. You get into a pattern and then you're not sort of excited when you're setting it up. So I've been thinking for a little while I might need to change my calendar up to make it more effective for me, but also a little more interesting for me when I'm doing my monthly setups. And that's my calendar spread complete. On to my self-care and kind of a reflective page that I like to do, where I focus on my goals, my highlights of the month, and then also my key learns for the month as well. In the last few months, I haven't been quite on top of the journaling. I know I've mentioned this on my Instagram. My Instagram has really dropped behind. Apologies for those that follow me on Instagram. I am around and about. I've just had my hands full with my puppy and she's been a lot of the focus for me. But also it's been incredibly busy at work as well. So I found myself having to do a fair amount of overtime and giving up some of my journaling time to be able to do that. So my focuses have really needed to be elsewhere. As it comes into the autumn time and winter, that's my favourite time to be journaling. So I really need to create the space for me to do that. So I'm going to give it another month or so of focusing and trying to make sure I'm completing my goals and the key learns. They're the things that tend to get a little bit left behind for me. If not, I'm going to shake this up a little bit as well. The self-care I absolutely love doing. That works really, really well for me. I'm not always super diligent in making sure I complete them all, but I'm really trying to, and it helps to give me that focus each month. On to my next page. Usually this would be my memories, but I've decided to change this up. I really love my memory boxes, but as I said before, sometimes you can do a spread for so long and end up then not feeling excited and inspired to complete it, even though it's really working for you. So I've decided to change it up this month. I may bring back the memory boxes on a different month where I know ahead, that's going to work better for me for that month. And instead, I've decided to start to create a November review. This is going to give me the space to capture different memories and bits and pieces that happen. And if I feel like I am missing that memory spread, I'll be able to create something similar or in a different way. I also really like to stick things into my journal when I've been places, and I've tried this year having a separate kind of travel journal, but it didn't work for me in the best way, and it became a chore to kind of complete it. I'm really going back to the Ryder Carroll principle of having everything in one place, and I'm currently toying with my 2025 setup, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have a separate memories journal or not. I may very well do something like that, but I'm not 100% sure at the moment. And here's my final flip through. Thank you so much for watching today. I do hope you've enjoyed my November setup. If you do, please hit like and subscribe and turn on the notifications, and you'll be told of when I release future content. I hope you have a fantastic November, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.